What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Aaron. This is Aaron's Aquatics. We are back with another episode, and today we are going to address my algae problem. Yes, this has been a minor problem over the last, I don't know, maybe month or so, where there are a few places that build up algae. Some on top of my subwasser tang, a bunch in the middle of my Rotala Walichi, and a little bit, I don't know why, that likes to attach itself to some of my ground debris, which is fine. I mean, I expected some of this. These are less mature tanks. There's not as much in my Walichi on my red cherry shrimp tank, but you do find it in the back a little bit, over by my, oh man, I don't remember the stem plant's name, and this hitchhiker plant, which I don't know what it is, but it's been growing steadily since I got it. The crypt in the back has been doing absolutely fantastic, yeah, no algae issues there. So before I talk about exactly what I'm going to do, I want to talk about why I have algae in here to begin with. Most algae problems stem from having an abundance of nutrients, excess nutrients that either are not being eaten, absorbed, or taken out of the tank. So TLDR, it's user error. That's me. I'm the user. And it's, part of it is, I don't feed these guys like that often. I mean, most of you who might know, I feed them, here, let's go over here. I feed them the Max Growth Moon Runes brand, and I give them probably, you take one of these pellets, half of them, break it in half, and then each tank gets half of that. So basically a quarter of those pellets, and it's not a lot, and I feed them every 2 days. So, well, every other day. And occasionally when I see a spike in babies, I put a tiny bit of my Sungrow Shirakura yellow powder, which helps with baby shrimp and being able to get to food if there's not enough biofilm on the tank. So, that being said, what I'm going to do is a few different things. First, I'm going to try to manually remove as much of this algae as possible first. The next thing I'm going to do is reduce the photo period. So the photo period is how long you have your lights on inside the tank. Now these lights, they're both the same, are Planet Plus 24/7 LEDs. Their par rating is pretty good. They're definitely not the highest light plants, but they're definitely better than your average. Now, the actual control that I have for my lights, these Phoenix lights, is set on 24/7 mode. So 24/7 mode starts at dawn and ends at dusk. It gives you the full range, starting with very light sunlight to high intensity down to a dark light. You can also even program it to emulate some different modes. In this case, this mode is a kind of a moonlit night. There's also other modes which are pretty cool. This is a demonstration of a thunderstorm, and it's supposed to emulate kind of how you have thunderstorms in nature, out in the ocean if you have a saltwater tank, because you can have these in saltwater. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. But I usually don't do that. So that's, God damn it. Sorry, sensor, work, thank you. Sorry, my sensor on this tank is right there, and the other sensor I have dangling there because why the hell not? My cat likes to play with it. My last resort in a step 3, I'm gonna consider step 3 optional because honestly I don't want to do it because it's not really addressing the core problem, is doing a blackout period. Blackout period is where you cover the entire tank with maybe towels, paper, whatever you've got on hand, and you basically starve the algae of light. Your shrimp will be fine, your main plants should have enough energy to be fine, not really a big deal, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I have a batch of RDI water ready to go with me, so we can do a quick water add to both tanks as well, because as you can see the water levels are a little bit lower than normal. So once we add the water, I mean we did a water change last week, so I'm not going to do another water change. I'm just going to be doing a top off. So let's get started.
we are back. We went ahead and trimmed out all the algae from both tanks, or at least most of it. I'm sure we didn't get all of it, but as you can see, there is a lot. Man, look how thick this is. Damn, that's nasty though. By the way, the reason why I like doing something like in a bowl like this, I don't really throw it out, is to do a quick check, right? Shrimp are tiny. It's possible. The glare on my fan is amazing. You can tell that really there's nothing in here, no more shrimp. That's good. We don't want to take any away by accident. So what I've got going right now is my RODI unit is hooked up to my very small power head. I really need to get a bigger one, and depositing the RODI water right now. So the reason why I typically use this is because shrimp are very finicky about parameter changes, these type of shrimp anyways. So I use this power head to pump in remineralized RODI water. Now this is just a water top off, so I don't really need to do that, but I don't have any alternative. There's no light, fucking thing's broken. But I've got my big power head, which is awesome. That's not, it's a submersible pump, which works, but it's too powerful. The problem is, since I moved, I misplaced the inline tubing for that, so that's pointless. So now I'm doing it super slow. Super slow. So it's gonna be a little while for you guys to wait and see, but let's take a look at the results. You know, there's still a little bit of algae in there, but it's looking fine. Right up here is where I repropagated about 6 different stalks. They're looking really good right there. And I put a couple right here. Now, right now they look a little bit silly kind of by themselves, but my plan is to fill in this section right here to kind of give it some depth. And that's my goal. As you can see, the algae was removed for the most part from my subwasser tank, and there's no more little pine cones in here that contain it as well. Moving on to my other tank, I removed most of it from inside here, and you can see a little trim section. I do need to propagate some in there as well. There is no more, oh, no, take that back. Some of it that I didn't pull out is connected to my sponge, so I'll take that out here in a little second. But yeah, so far, so good. I'm really happy with the results here, so hopefully after reducing the photo period to a shorter time, potentially reducing the nutrient from feeding, we should be good. But anyways guys, that was it. That's pretty much a minor update on how to deal with algae in shrimp tanks. Coming up next week, I do have some big plans that I wanted to talk about. Some of my crystal red shrimp, or excuse me, my cherry red shrimp will be going to a good friend of mine. I'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, I need to figure out how to ship shrimp by the seashore. I need to figure out how to ship shrimp. Okay, I'm currently in Texas, which is about upper 80s to low 90s. My friend, he is in Kansas, so that is about mid 70s, but it's getting colder. So do I put a cold pack in? Do I use a heat pack for when it gets there, because it is getting colder in Kansas now, or do I just do nothing and just put in a bunch of insulation in the packaging? So if you guys have any suggestions, if you shipped shrimp in the past, please let me know. That's about it, guys. This is Aaron's Aquatics. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
If you guys are interested in continuing the discussion over on Discord, join me and Bare Necessities over at Fishy Business. I've got a link in the description below. If you want to join, go ahead and click that link. Both of us are there. We're there most of the time during the day. If you want to chat, you want to talk about fish, saltwater, freshwater, shrimp, doesn't matter. Come on, let's go talk.